This summer, the Center for Performing Arts at GovState University began hosting a series of summer concerts dubbed Groovin' at GovState. These concerts are free to attend and have been hosted outside on the university's lawn all season long. Denise Times kicked things off with the first concert held on June 26th. Rosie and the Rivets were the second group hosted, and they played the campus on July 10th. On June 24th, the third concert in the series was held at the school, as the university welcomed Proyecto 7, a salsa ensemble from Elgin. Even though severe storms and temperatures nearing 100 degrees forced the festivities indoors, Proyecto 7 still got the audience moving throughout the night with their energetic lineup. The sounds of brass horns and a strong bass line played over electrifying percussion filled the Hall of Governors as the Band of Seven began playing around 6 p.m. and continued until almost 8 o'clock. Alongside the musical guests, the Groovin' at GovState concerts have also featured a lineup of food trucks to provide good eats to pair with these stellar performances. Uncle Nearest Twisky, who sponsors the event, has also provided a bar for each of the concerts as well. The final concert for the Groovin' at GovState series will be the Javon Watson Experience, who will be playing on campus on August 14th. Weather permitting, the R&B singer will hopefully be returning the concert series outdoors, but in the event of rain or other inclement conditions, the final show will be moved indoors to the Hall of Governors. For GovState News, this is Graham Taylor. President Donald Trump is once again under scrutiny for his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, a financier, sex trafficker, and pedophile who died in jail while awaiting trial in 2019 during Trump's first term. The president, who partially ran his re-election campaign on a platform of releasing the so-called Epstein files, is instead now refusing to release the files and is avoiding questions on the subject matter ever since it was revealed that his name appeared multiple times in the documents. On July 7th, the Department of Justice and FBI announced jointly that they were putting an end to the Epstein investigation and concluded that Epstein had killed himself by hanging back in 2019. The decision was made to not publicly release any more information related to the investigation, which in turn caused backlash from many of Trump's supporters, who fear that the administration might be covering something up. Democrats also began questioning the administration about the end of the investigation. On July 22nd, House Speaker Mike Johnson scheduled a 5-week recess within the House in order to avoid any votes or questioning in regards to the Epstein case. The following day, on July 23rd, the Wall Street Journal reported that back in May, Attorney General Pam Bondi informed the president during a briefing that his name appeared in documents related to the Epstein case. Trump denied that he was informed about this matter when he was questioned about it in June. The Journal also reported the previous week that Trump signed a birthday card for Epstein with a raunchy doodle for his 50th birthday in 2003. Trump denied the allegation and is threatening to sue the Wall Street Journal for $10 billion. He also claimed that he does not draw, despite the well-documented fact that he frequently donated drawings for charity in the early 2000s. In response to the reports by the Journal, the House Oversight Committee introduced a motion to subpoena the Justice Department in regards to the investigation on the same day. 3 Republican members of the committee voted in favor of the motion, passing it 8-2. 2 Republican members voted against the motion, and all Democratic members voted in favor. 2 days later, Todd Blanche, Trump's Deputy Attorney General and his former personal defense lawyer, was sent to Florida to interview Ghislaine Maxwell, the girlfriend and associate of Epstein who is serving 20 years in prison for sex trafficking. Blanche interviewed Maxwell for over 10 hours, and it is reported that Maxwell is seeking a pardon or some sort of immunity before she is willing to testify. On July 29th, during an interview, Trump claims that he and Epstein had a falling out after Epstein, quote, stole an employee while she was working at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. That claim refutes what Trump said a week earlier about his and Epstein's split, at the time saying he ended his friendship with Epstein for being, quote, a creep, end quote. The employee Trump was talking about turned out to be Virginia Giuffre, a victim and accuser of Epstein's who died by suicide this April. The following night, on July 30th, Giuffre's family released a statement in response to Trump's statement. The following is part of their response. Quote, it was shocking to hear President Trump invoke our sister and say that he was aware that Virginia had been stolen from Mar-a-Lago. It makes us ask if he was aware of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal actions, end quote. Trump's relationship with Epstein, both professional and personal, has been well documented over the years. In a 2002 New York Times article, Trump referred to Epstein as a terrific guy and said the following about him, quote, it is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side, end quote. With pressure mounting from both Democrats and Republicans, this is one scandal the president won't be able to just ignore. For GovState News, this is Graham Taylor. On July 23rd, Columbia University announced that it would capitulate to Donald Trump's administration and pay an over $200 million settlement to the federal government. This agreement comes after a months-long struggle during which the government illegally withheld federal funding from the university while also investigating the college. The Trump administration began cracking down on universities as soon as it came into power for a second time, targeting schools that had students peacefully protesting the genocide in Gaza and the United States' complicity in it. Now, under the false claim of combating anti-Semitism, the largely Israel-aligned administration is looking to punish those who speak against them, and to further micromanage universities by overhauling admission policies and other guidelines. In addition to Columbia, Harvard and Brown University have also had federal funding withheld, with Princeton, Cornell, Northwestern, and other schools being threatened with similar action. Now that Columbia has agreed to pay over $200 million, the government has agreed to unfreeze over $400 million in funding. The price for receiving those funds means the government has imposed many changes, including but not limited to reforming the university's protest and free speech policies, restricting its Middle Eastern Studies department, and adopting a controversial definition of anti-Semitism, which conflates anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. The settlement announcement also comes the same week as Harvard University announcing a lawsuit against the Trump administration for similar treatment. At this time, Harvard University is the only Ivy League college to fight back against Trump and his attacks on higher education. For GovState News, this is Graham Taylor. Democratic socialist Zoran Mamdani won an uphill battle after winning the New York City mayoral Democratic primary on June 24th, beating out bigger names such as former NYC Mayor Andrew Cuomo. However, instead of learning from this underdog victory, many Democratic leaders have instead come out against Mamdani and his campaign of hope, attacking the politician for his socialist views and proposals. Mamdani ran on a campaign of making New York City affordable for the working class. Some proposals include free childcare, rent freezes, and launching a series of city-owned grocery stores. These straightforward propositions have resonated with Democratic voters within the city, but the Democratic Party at large is slow to warm up to Mamdani or his ideas. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer have both failed to endorse the Democratic nominee. Other Democratic heads, like Cuomo, whose recent accolades include resigning from the role of New York City's mayor in disgrace in 2021 after a series of sexual assault allegations were levied against him, announced that he would once again run for the position in the upcoming mayoral race as an independent against Mamdani, despite losing the Democratic primary to him. Mamdani has also been under fire from the right as well, with President Trump going as far as to threaten to deport Mamdani, a gesture befitting of a tyrant. Despite being attacked from all sides, Mamdani is gaining popularity with the people both inside NYC and from those outside his jurisdiction. Even with the hard-fought win to become the nominee, Mamdani still faces daunting challenges in this mayoral race. Besides Cuomo, he will also be running against incumbent Eric Adams, who is also running as an independent, as well as the Republican nominee and any other independent hopefuls. While support from the Democratic Party as a whole seems far-fetched, perhaps some in the liberal wing will learn from Mamdani's successes so far. For GovState News, this is Graham Taylor. Grok AI, the chatbot and official AI companion of Twitter, now X, recently rolled out its 4.0 update at the beginning of July, and it didn't take long before the account for the chatbot, @Grok, started calling for a second Holocaust, among other anti-Semitic outbursts. Elon Musk, the owner of Twitter and advocate for Grok, has a history of anti-Semitism himself, and was seen making a gesture reminiscent of a Sieg Heil salute back during Trump's second inauguration on the national stage. Musk tweeted before the update went live that, quote, "You should notice the difference when you ask Grok a question," end quote. Users quickly noticed the difference. After the update was made available publicly, one user prompted Grok for information on another account that was posting in regards to the recent Texas floods. The Grok account responded by saying that the account in question belonged to Cindy Steinberg and accused that person of being a radical leftist, and ended the message with, quote, "And that surname? Every damn time, as they say," end quote. Note that the account in question was likely a troll account and was deleted shortly after this incident. Regardless, Grok's ingrained anti-Semitism was on full display, and it didn't take long for users to prompt the chatbot into calling for a second Holocaust or for advocating for the return of Adolf Hitler. The account even went as far as defending its support of Hitler in a separate post, before referring to itself as Mecha Hitler by the end of the day. Just as posts like these were going viral, the account was taken offline and the offending posts were removed. Another update was rolled out and an official post was made in response to the controversy, before the AI assistant was brought back. This whole ordeal occurred just days after the Pentagon announced a $200 million military contract with xAI, the AI model behind Grok. A day after the incident, Linda Yasserino, the CEO of X, announced that she was stepping down from her position and leaving the company. At this moment, neither Musk nor his company have faced any repercussions for the shoddy, racist products they're pushing. For GovState News, this is Graham Taylor. Almost a year after his arrest, the trial of Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, has finally wrapped up on July 2nd. Though he was acquitted of the most severe offenses, the music mogul was still convicted of several crimes and will remain in detention until his sentencing in October. Combs was charged with racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, and 2 counts of transportation for purposes of prostitution, though he was only convicted of the 2 transportation charges, both of which carry a maximum sentence of up to 10 years in prison. Combs was arrested last September after a trafficking and racketeering indictment was released, which accused the media giant of using his business and influence to coerce women into non-consensual sexual encounters. A year prior to his arrest, his ex-girlfriend and witness in his most recent trial, Cassie Ventura, sued Combs for years of assault and abuse, which was settled out of court the following day. 2 other lawsuits were filed against Combs by 2 other women for similar reasons shortly after Ventura's suit was filed. Combs denied all accusations at his racketeering and prostitution trial, in addition to denying all allegations from the previous lawsuits as well. However, witness testimony from Ventura and another woman, as well as security footage initially released by CNN showing Combs physically beating Ventura, paints a different picture. Combs' sentencing trial is scheduled for October 3rd, and while he hasn't been sentenced yet, Combs is already trying to escape whatever sentence may be coming his way. His attorneys have already filed a motion for a bail release, and President Trump mentioned a possible pardon for the criminal producer back in May, before he was even convicted. For GovState News, this is Graham Taylor.
Good afternoon. My name is Jada Thompson with GSU TV. And this Friday, Planned Parenthoods all around Missouri received some very good news from a Jackson County Circuit Court judge. Planned Parenthoods in Missouri were given the okay to once again offer abortion care to patients after being restricted to offer this service since February of 2022. This comes after Judge Jerry Zhang blocked the state's requirement that facilities have licenses, ruling it to be facially discriminatory by not treating services provided in abortion facilities the same as other types, including miscarriage care.
One of the major politically motivated hurdles was removed by the judge, and that is around facility licensing. Not medically necessary. And so what that means is that we can reopen in Missouri because that was one remaining hurdle.
This past November, Missouri voters said yes to Amendment 3, adding reproductive health care like abortion access to the state constitution. Jefferson County State Senator Mary Elizabeth Coleman has opposed past and future legislation targeting abortion.
No amount of money that can be spent in the state of Missouri that will dissuade Coalition for Life, Students for Life, the pro-life community in the state of Missouri to stop our advocacy for the unborn.
Coleman backs Coalition Life, a Christian organization whose goal is to ensure every woman seeking an abortion in the U.S. first encounters a loving and effective advocate for life. They intend to be at the Central West End Clinic daily, offering counseling and protesting what a majority of Missourians voted for.
We're calling it the Show Me Life prayer vigil here. And so we invite people to come out, join us, and pray and fast for an end to abortion.
In an attempt to counter the abortion protesters, volunteers wear rainbow vests to show they are the ones working to get patients inside safely. According to Senator Coleman, new legislations to counter abortions are in the works, even to bring it back to the voters. In the meantime, a Planned Parenthood clinic in Kansas City performed their first elective abortion on Saturday since the passing of Amendment 3. This has been Jada Thompson with GSU TV.
A federal grant program designed to help reduce the threat of wildfires has been abruptly canceled for Napa County in California. On Friday, April 4th, 2025, the Federal Emergency and Management Agency announced that the Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities, or BRIC program, was wasteful and they would be canceling all the BRIC applications from 2020 to 2023. This leaves millions of dollars Napa County invested in mitigation work in jeopardy.
This is about a $50 million investment in total for the county of Napa, all focused on really mitigating large-scale wildfires in our community.
FEMA said ending the program ensures that grant funding aligns with President Donald Trump's executive orders. Napa County expressed their concern regarding FEMA's decision as it jeopardizes Napa County's Community Wildfire Protection Plan.
One thing's for sure, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Fires are a constant reality and a threat that we have to live with here in Napa County. If we don't get ahead of that early with prevention, then you know the consequence.
Napa County is one of the most fire-prone regions in the country, and more than 1/3 of the county's residents live in wildfire hazard zones.
Being a fan of efficiency and wanting the federal government to work well, I agree. But the problem we see is it's way, way more expensive to fix the problem after it's already started.
Napa County now regroups and plans to explore all available pathways in hopes of preserving the projects that prevent or minimize wildfire disaster. This is Analia Vey with GovState News.
In the first quarter of 2025, Dollar General saw strong sales growth as tariffs led to higher prices across many retailers. This pushed more shoppers, including middle and higher income customers, to seek deals at Dollar General stores. The company reported net sales of $10.44 billion and raised its full-year earnings forecast. CEO Todd Vasos says that Family Dollar is uniquely positioned to thrive amid economic challenges and plans to open 575 new stores throughout 2025. While tariffs may continue to increase costs, Dollar General expects to attract more budget-conscious shoppers and sustain its growth in the coming months. This has been Noah Norris for GovState News.
January 15, 2025, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration banned the use of red dye number 3. This synthetic color additive is used to give food and beverages such as candy, sodas, or even medicine their bright red color. This ban comes more than 30 years after scientists discovered a link between the chemical and cancer in animals.
The recent ban was really initiated due to the fact that studies have shown cancer growth in animals.
The FDA revoked the authorization to use red dye number 3 in foods, beverages, and medicine, which according to doctors is long overdue. The agency is giving food manufacturers until January 15, 2027, and pharmaceutical companies until January 18, 2028 to reformulate their products. Registered dietitian Julian Zumpano provides advice on how to avoid the substance while companies work to change their formulas.
Be very diligent about reading those ingredient labels because the dyes can be kind of hidden in there. So you really have to scan those ingredients to make sure that it's not listed.
Zumpano recommends focusing on eating whole foods, looking at beverage ingredients, and using alternatives such as fruit and vegetable extracts. She also recommends avoiding any synthetic food dyes altogether.
None of these food dyes are necessary. They're not healthy. They do not provide any nutrition. So there's no harm in eliminating them. You're only creating more health benefits.
This is Analia Vey reporting for GSU TV.
It was just a force that I never felt before.
On Wednesday, April 3rd, a tornado slammed into areas surrounding Little Rock and Pine Bluff, Arkansas, brought strong winds enough to flip vehicles, tear roofs from homes, and snap trees. Emergency crews are now on the ground assessing the damage, while search and rescue teams continue to make sure no one is trapped in the debris. Residents are beginning the long process of recovery, with many left without power, shelter, or basic supplies. Officials say it could take days or even weeks to fully understand the extent of the destruction. Relief organizations are already mobilizing to provide food, water, and temporary shelter. This has been Noah Norris for GovState News.
In Shelby County, Alabama, an Amazon Flex driver helped save a family from their burning home.
I'm an Amazon delivery driver, and I saw the house on fire. Hold on, let me help the lady down.
The evening of February 16th, Nehemiah Elmore was delivering packages when she noticed a house on fire. When reflecting on the incident, Elmore says she would do it again if it meant saving someone's life.
Most people keep telling me, like my parents and everybody, like most people would have just called 911 and kept going and would have checked, but I couldn't sleep.
Elmore got out of her vehicle immediately after seeing the flames and recalls helping a woman in a wheelchair as smoke filled the air.
I just immediately, hopped out my car, man, left and running. Wasn't even thinking, and ran in the house.
In the midst of helping the family escape the burning home, she was also on call with 911.
Please hold 1 second.
Oh, you're good. This is 911. I'm just trying to make sure they were exiting their residence.
Elmore says she wasn't initially going to take a route on Sunday, but she was in the right place at the right time. Within 45 minutes of her drive, she was inside the burning house helping a woman and her elderly mother get out. Elmore says after she helped the family escape, she continued with her route and finished the rest of her deliveries.
As I'm finishing my deliveries, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh, you crazy. You just ran into a house fire.
This is Analia Vey with GSU TV.
Route 17 cicadas are beginning to emerge across parts of the eastern United States this spring. These periodical cicadas, known for their synchronized emergence, are part of a biological phenomenon that hasn't been seen since 2008. Scientists say Brood 17 is one of the largest of the 15 identified broods. Experts say you'll hear them before you see them. The males use a loud chorus to attract females, sometimes reaching up to 100 decibels loud. While they may sound overwhelming, experts emphasize cicadas pose no threats to humans or pets. Their emergence is a critical part of the ecosystem, feeding birds and even enriching the soil as they decompose. So whether you're fascinated or freaked out, the cicadas are back, louder than ever. This has been Noah Norris for GovState News.
4, 3, 2, 1, let's go!
The big day is here for Nintendo fans. The gaming giant's new console, the Switch, arrived in stores this week after the announcement of its release came back in April of this year. The Switch 2, priced at $450 US, can be played in handheld mode when propped up on a table or on a TV when plugged in to its accompanying dock. But the 2 comes with upgrades such as a larger screen and upgraded versions of the Joy-Con controllers along with new social features. Nintendo hit a new record of having the highest global sales level for any Nintendo device, selling more than 3.5 million consoles within the first 4 days of release. For GovState News, this has been Jada Thompson.
We all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head off into space and come back forever changed. Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and The Thing.
I herald Galactus.
Welcome to Hollywood Buzz, your source for the latest in the entertainment industry. I'm your host, Graham Taylor, and today we'll be looking at upcoming releases, celebrity news, and the latest from Hollywood. Let's get started. The Fantastic Four, Marvel's so-called first family, is returning to the big screen once again in Fantastic Four: First Steps. This new feature film is the first for the family in Marvel's Cinematic Universe and released on July 25th. The superhero who started it all, Superman, is also getting his silver screen due this summer. Written and directed by James Gunn, Superman was released on July 11th. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, America's most successful late-night talk show, has been canceled by parent company Paramount. The network just reached a settlement for millions of dollars with President Trump, and fans have been protesting outside of the show's studios in response. Black Sabbath frontman and godfather of heavy metal, Ozzy Osbourne passed away on July 22nd. Fans all over the world have been celebrating the iconic musician, leaving tributes in remembrance of the Prince of Darkness. Another legendary musician passed just days after Osbourne. Tom Lehrer, a mathematician, satirist, and musician, died on July 26th. Most well known for his periodic element song, Lehrer was also a political activist in addition to his other accolades. Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham of Fleetwood Mac fame have announced that they would be reissuing their Buckingham Nicks album later this year. The album, recorded by the duo in 1973 before they made it big as members of Fleetwood Mac, is a hard-to-find collector's item that will finally make its way into the hands of excited fans. Tyler, the Creator, hot off last year's album Chromacopia, surprise dropped another record on July 21st. The album, titled Don't Tap the Glass, released just weeks before he is set to headline Lollapalooza. The legendary Lollapalooza Music Festival is once again rocking Chicago this summer. Kicking off on July 31st, other big names attending the event include Sabrina Carpenter, Korn, and Olivia Rodrigo. The 2025 Emmy Award nominees have been announced, with the award show itself being hosted on September 12th. Abbott Elementary, The Bear, What We Do in the Shadows, The Pit, and The Last of Us are some of the shows competing for the top awards. Mortal Kombat 2, the sequel to the 2021 movie based on the game series, also got its first trailer.
Where the hell am I?
It's called Mortal Kombat. It's a fighting tournament. To the death.
The 59th Annual Comic-Con convention kicked off on July 24th in San Diego. The 4-day event was filled with fans celebrating their love of comics and entertainment. For GSU TV, this has been Graham Taylor with the latest Hollywood Buzz.